And then moving down to some high school conference winners. Just a few teams to note, or conferences to note. The Middle Illini, Washington won that conference. The Southwestern Conference, Edwardsville won that. Duquesne, St. Charles North won that conference. Southwest Suburban, Lincoln Way East won that conference. The West Suburban Silver, OPRF and DGN will share that title. And then the West Suburban Gold, Downers Grove South won that division. So congrats to those teams. And they're kind of rolling into playoffs now with 3A, 4A starting.
Hammett, shout out the alma mater, man. 16-2 in conference. I saw they edged it out by like a game against Willowbrook. I think Willowbrook was 15-3. So yeah, come on, give your Mustangs some love there.
Yeah, good for the boys. Good for Downers Grove in general. I mean, North and South. I feel like I can say that now because I'm kind of out of the rivalry now. It's just like now I just kind of root for Downers Grove now. But yeah, there's some good baseball over here for sure. But yeah,
Well,
good
and,
for
like,
both those squads and OPRF too.
Lincoln Way East winning the Southwest Suburban. It's just a tough conference. Like battling Lincoln Way West, Lincoln Way Central. There's others in there, and I look at St. Charles North, getting through a Lake Park and some teams in that conference. And you've got Edwardsville down there in the Southwestern Conference. I know O'Fallon was really good this year. That tends to be a battle every single year. And then the Middle Illini, Gavin, a lot of good teams down there in that conference this year. So I know on last week's call, like there were some conference titles already decided. We were waiting to hear on some of these others. So now we can start to kind of turn our attention. But congrats to those schools for sure.
Yeah, and Hammett, big player of the week news last week. I'll let you kind of get into it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we had our second National Player of the Week of the year, which I have not really dug into it. I want to know what state has the most. Maybe we can look that up. I mean, that'd be maybe hard to do on the spot here, but yeah, our second National Player of the Week of the year, Patrick Connors. He had a heck of a week in multiple ways, really. I mean, he went 14 for 18 with a triple, 5 doubles, 8 RBIs, 11 runs scored, and 10 stolen bases. And then, so the stolen bases was a big deal for us because he set his school's single season stolen base record when he surpassed 35, and now he was at 43 on the year, and I don't know what he's at now. We could potentially check, but he yeah, I mean, it's always cool when you got like a record being broken, so that was kind of the deal breaker for us. But then 14 for 18 is no joke either. Like, that's a heck of a week. And then for pitcher of the week, we went with Shea Glotzbach from Lamont, a Missouri St. Louis commit. And Patrick Connors is a junior at Hinsdale Central. I might have failed to mention that. But Shea, it was actually 2 combined outings, but 13 innings, which is 2 hits allowed, 2 walks, and 14 strikeouts. And now I was able to catch one of the outings when they took down number 10 Lincoln Way West. He fired a complete game with just 2 hits, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. And he followed up with a perfect game over 6 innings with 6 strikeouts. So heck of a week for him. 2 different outings. Both those guys really awesome weeks. And we're not doing a player of the week this week. It's going to be more like playoff performer stuff and some diamond notes still, but just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, and I got fired up too, Pete, because like Coach Storacco, I know in the note he sent over to you, said it was like basically the most dominant stretches of his career, talking about Glotzbach. Fired me up because, first off, that's Glotzbach going into the postseason for Lamont. Like, you want him hitting on all cylinders. He's a senior. You want him to be, at his best come playoff time. But then I also chose Lamont. So I love to hear that, and that might have been sticking with me last week when I picked them, knowing that they had a hot arm on the mound. But congrats to Shea Glotzbach there. Those are 2 impressive outings.
Yeah, and then our typical diamond notes section is what comes up after this, but just a nugget, I guess, is last week's story was the biggest story that we've had so far in Diamond Notes. So definitely go check that out. I don't think we're going to break down any of the performances this week, but definitely get into that and go take a peek because there was a lot of information in there and a lot of good nuggets.
And that's a huge shout out to the high school coaches. That's where we get all of our submissions. So if that's our biggest week, that means the high school coaches are getting in there, sending it to us. Thank you, and continue to do it here as we get close to the final weeks of the season. I know some schools are already done in 1A, 2A, but we'll need that same kind of participation when it comes to like Player of the Year awards, getting all the stats in so that we can put out the most factual information possible and gather information on every player across the state from every high school coach. So that needs to be in the running for Player of the Year and all state teams.